we're treating it is we're going to host the game. It's going to be self-hosted, but the access points into the game are going to be platform specific. Like our 2D space shooter, for instance, it's going to be run through an arcade machine because you guys don't. I mean, we could do a 2D perspective in there and everything, but what's the fun in that? We could sit you guys in an arcade machine, pull up the 2D game on the screen, and then we have a third camera perspective behind the ship, so you see everything in front of the ship behind the UI of the screen. You know, kind of just the pretty up the background, and that way you can see when you're pulling up on stars and planets and shit too. You know, but the access points into the games because we want them to be Web 3 games in the end, and we want them to have tokens, selling goods and things like that, but we want the access point into those to be from the platforms, if that makes any sense.
That's awesome. So is it almost like embedding a game inside of a game? Like would it actually be linking up?
Yeah, it's exactly like embedding a game inside of a game. That's like one of the things we want to build in an arcade, but we want to team up with a whole bunch of other creators to work on that, you know? So an arcade is a perfect example of that, you know?
Oh, you could just imagine an arcade with a whole bunch of different makers, like in the same room, and you walk around. If you could even watch people play the games over their shoulders, that would be such a interesting social experience.
Totally doable.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that was my only real question was, is it going to be an exclusive port, or are we still allowed to do cross-platform?
I think that for me, I think exclusive strengthens the application, but cross-platform is totally acceptable as something. So, yeah, I think that's a great question. I'm really glad that you asked that. And what other platforms will you be porting to?
We've got Mona Spatial, On Something or Another, VR Chat, Neos, Altspace until recently. They're shutting that down.
Yeah, of course.
Probably about 10 to 12 other platforms.
Wow, that's so cool. Also, just want to welcome Big Yellow Fishes and Giggly89 and Strawberry Sip. Hey guys, hello.
Hello.
Welcome. We were just I see the celebration. Hi, Giggly, Gigi. We were just talking about cross-platform implementation. Jay was sharing with us some really interesting hackathons that are out there and asking if it's okay for a project to be both for Mona and other platforms. And my answer was that it's totally okay to submit something like that, but it will strengthen the application if it's Mona specific. Really, we're looking for things that can help bring people to Mona and give them great experiences. So the more it does that, the more, of course, we're interested in that. That's a great question.
Well, we do want to build on Mona more, but you guys are on our list of like favorite platforms to build. The only thing that kills Mona for us is a lot of our market, for instance, India is one of our huge markets, and they don't use desktop. They use cell phones for everything.
Totally.
Asia's another one of our big markets. They don't use desktops and phones for that kind of stuff. They use VR headsets.
Yeah.
But because we pitched like the film and we're getting ready to do the Film and Animation Institute of Tokyo's space, they want VR, you know? So those are just unavoidable things that everybody that we pitch to want with their packages. You know?
Yeah, totally. And I just want to point something out. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's definitely a certain direction in which Mona's dev is going. And you know, it's like we were adding features over the months, but more recently, it's like we're doing large system shift stuff, like upgrading to the newest Unity, enabling visual scripting. So all that stuff is to get ready for the next step. And you know, mobile and VR has always been on the roadmap. As
if you guys need VR help, I have a team that does Oculus. Since you guys updated to the latest Unity SDKs and game engine, we know the Oculus SDKs pretty much inside and out. If you guys need a hand with that.
Oh yeah, come on down. We'll break you a cup of coffee, and then if you could just implement VR for us real quick, we would appreciate it.
2-day-old coffee with a cigarette butt. That's all I need. I'm good to go.
It's that easy. For some people, I bet it's that easy. You know, I'm sure it's a kind of thing where it's like they've got a dev team and they've got workflows and repositories. So I'm sure it's more complicated than that, but I appreciate the offer for sure. really do. And when I know more about when that's going to come out, and I'll let you know. Because I agree, mobile and VR are going to be a big part of it. And I know the Mona team, they know that as well. So, Zico, you don't have to.
Honestly.
Zico, you don't have to apologize for bad English. Here, I've got bad English too, and it is all good. How's everyone doing? It's cool to see the big yellow fishes in here. You guys made that crazy video for what the live stream competition was. That was such a wild video.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, we enjoyed making that.
Yeah, it's the production quality of that. It's like you could tell that you guys do this stuff for a living. Like it was even the end with the logo popping up and there being sound that was synced specifically to the animation. It was really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, we spent a lot of time making the finer details good.
Yeah.
We think that adds an extra thing. But we've just finished our application for the Monaverse, so
awesome.
Fingers crossed. We had a it's called the Metaverse Sessions, and it's a YouTube series where we just sort of celebrate or highlight up and coming artists. Our goal is to turn it into a physical space with the metaverse. So hopefully with this grant, that's what we're looking to do. Yeah, it should be good though. Fingers crossed.
That's cool. So it's a series where you highlight other artists. Is that right? Like almost like
at the moment.
Go on, sir.
Yeah, so at the moment it's a very basic form where we interview and we film some artists that we know. So they tend to be singers at the moment, and it's currently we're currently working solely in space, but we're looking to move metaverses and stuff like that. But the actual goal for what we want to do is make it so all artists, whether that be 3D modelers, singers, video editors, can showcase their work within a space.
Yeah.
And essentially it could be like a virtual resume or portfolio. So people can walk around and be like, oh, this guy made this. This is a link to his portfolio. And we can do like talks. We want to add an educational aspect. Matt's a lecturer at a college in the UK. So we want to just make it a real interactive experience. Yeah, hopefully with the money we can make that happen. But yeah,
that sounds so cool. I love the idea of finding art. There's so many great artists out there that either don't have the tools to make their own spaces or don't have the guts to put themselves out. Not the guts, because I mean to say like maybe the disposition to do that. So that's awesome. I love that, especially as like a grant application, because it shows how it connects to the community and how it can benefit others. So yeah, that's really cool. Out of curiosity, was it Mark? You lecture at a university? What do you lecture about?
It's Matt, but I lecture games design and media.
Awesome, cool. And is there a lot of conversation about metaverse, or metaverses?
So currently, my students run a work experience week, and they're helping me build a world in Hyperfly.
Awesome.
So I'm trying to incorporate it as much as possible.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, there's some of the people. You see a lot of people building cross metaverse spaces where it's like they'll build one space in Hyperfly and in Mona, and building portals between those. It's a interesting way to do that. If only they could exist at the same time.
I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I think so too. It does create kind of a duplicity a little bit, where it's like the one space is fragmented a little bit. Just reading some messages.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, go ahead.
I think places like Lighthouse help with that, where it's all incorporated into one profile kind of thing. So
yeah.
You can see.
Do you guys use that the Lighthouse Chrome extension much?
Yeah, we do. It's a good way of seeing sort of our friends and our clients and where they are currently and stuff like that. And we've done a little bit of work for them as well. We've entered some competitions for them, and
cool.
it's all good fun.
That
is so cool. I think it might be a combination of a lot of those things. Huh.
Mm.
Did you
Yeah.
did you guys enter the pumpkin competition?
Yeah, we did. We did a cool little video for it as well because we really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So that's on our YouTube channel and Twitter, I believe.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really good fun.
Pumpkins work.
Yeah. So I'm just going to read a couple messages here on the right. So Jay shared the hackathon that Jay was talking about. So we just found out about devpost.com, which has hackathons for a bunch of different platforms, a lot of Web3 platforms. One of the categories metaverse refers to shared virtual lands or buildings, avatars, names can be bought and sold using cryptocurrency. Love it. Okay, Gigi says, new to virtual reality for advanced creators, not for beginners. Oh, absolutely. So I'm curious, Gigi, if you have made anything in Mona at all, or on any different platform. If you've 3D modeled, have you made any kind of game spaces? Because if you let me know that, then I can help you out with that. I can point you in the right direction. We actually do have beginner sessions as well. There's Let's Break Things World, which is a combination of chaos and beginner tutorials. We're actually also starting like beginner onboard sessions, so for people who are absolutely brand new, and that might really help as well. As for everybody else, want to welcome Zaga. I remember Zaga. I remember you being around. Oh, Zaga took off. I see Emotional. Welcome, Emotional. And yeah, I was thinking about walking through the grants documentation just step by step. Would you guys be into that? Should I walk through the grants document? Or are there specific questions that anyone has? I'd be happy to answer. You can show with emojis if you want. Send a fire emoji if you want me to read. Oh, okay. Fire emoji if you want me to read through the grant document. Hey, Studio Supers is here. Awesome. Okay. Well, how you doing, Studio Supers?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing? Last time I saw you was your submission for the VRM competition, which was so good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm excited to make some proposals for some grants here. We'll see how it goes. Excited to learn more.
Awesome. I saw Strawberry Sith on mic there for a second. Anything? Maybe not. Okay. Well, I will share my screen now, and if anyone is not interested in hearing a walkthrough of the grants page, then you guys can just message me in the, either interrupt me or message me in the text chat. But I'll share my screen in just a few seconds here once I close some windows. Oh, no worries, Strawberry. Let's see. Okay, let's share screen. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm on my laptop today, so I don't have great audio. All right. Here we go. I'm live now. Excellent. So, you guys may have seen the this grants page already. It was put together by the Mona team, Matt and Justin, myself, and Fractillions. And the Mona Grants program just came into being this last week or so, and the whole idea behind it was there's just so many people in the community that have really great ideas, and instead of something like a build-a-thon where everyone is kind of competing for the same prize, we decided to do a grants program where people could have really specific ideas that might need specific types of support, so we could create that support for them. And as you may know, the total top funding that you can receive is $5,000 per proposal. I would say that what we're finding is we're getting a lot of $5,000 proposals, and I want to welcome everyone here to also submit even a lower tier of your same submission, because if you do, then we can include more grants. We can have more people receive grants, and you're more likely to receive a grant probably if you have a little bit lower of a number, and that's partly so that it's spreading the love to everybody kind of thing, but it's also having like kind of a realistic number in mind. So if you have an idea for a micro grant too, like maybe it's you want to throw a small event and you could do it over 5 weeks and you only need a certain little chunk of money, then feel free to also submit a second grant proposal as well. Third, you honestly could submit as many as you want. Just don't flood our inbox with ChatGPT generated grant proposals, because that might be a thing at some point. So yeah, I'll just keep moving on unless anyone has any questions. We are looking for, as you know, things that quality experiences that push boundaries, provide a sense of belonging through social interaction. And I think that the belonging through social interaction is an important one, and not so much that you directly provide that belonging, but more that there are ways that you can build a space or build a project or plan a project that includes other people or includes community participation or creates opportunities for people to interact with each other that would be strong and would sometimes only require a single tweak to the way that you're looking at a space. There's probably not going to be a lot of funding for spaces that are meant for single non-community uses. So an example of that would be like, what would an example? I want a grant so I can create an empty room. Just kidding. But I'm sure you can kind of see that the difference between a space that invites lots of people. Say it's like a gallery that you invite 5 or 10 of your friends to contribute work to, or maybe it's a gallery that you do an open call for. That kind of application would be really strong. So who can apply? Previously, it's really anyone can apply, but previously minted spaces, people who have participated in challenges, people who have strong work in related fields, and people who are active in the Mona community. And Jay brought up, hey, I'm really busy doing a whole bunch of other stuff. It's a little bit hard for me to be active in the Mona community. That's totally okay. It's not, we're not expecting anyone to do Discord grinding and, react to every post to gain points. That's not how we're looking at it. It's mostly that, are you around? Do we know you? Do other people know you? Because that kind of connects back to the community aspect of it. We want we want applications and people that are going to kind of connect with other people in the community and be part of it in a way. And everyone I see here, I recognize. There's a few new faces, but all of you guys totally welcome to submit. Absolutely. And if you're here, that's already a step towards it. Will there be grant cycles? Was asked by, was it? Wait, I got it wrong the first time. It wasn't Mark. No, I got it wrong. Matt.
I think I heard you say.
It's Matt.
Is it submitting for? I think I have to submit for things that help others too. Is that what it was? I think I heard that right. You're right.
That was. In general, we're interested in things that spread out the love and connect people to other people. So it doesn't necessarily have to directly help somebody, but it would be better. Hey man.
I think if that's the case, then that is gonna help everybody, right? I think you're right.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the way that sounds.
Cool.
Okay, I gotta think of grants that help value people, I guess. Or like how does that connect? Ooh.
You know it, Vega. You know about it. You know how it's about. It's about spreading energy and all that.
No, I think you're right. You've been on this.
So
thank you for teaching.
So okay, Matt asked, will there be grant cycles? Yes, definitely. This is an alpha program for Mona's grants program, and the whole idea is that this is a smaller version of something that we'll do more in the future. So even if you guys apply and you don't get a grant, don't worry, because it's like this is almost like a test run in a way for something down the line. And sorry, I'm laughing at the gifts that are being shared. Yeah, so it's a test thing for something that's down the line, basically. And we expect that the next grant cycle would start in Q3 probably. So this whole thing will take grants are open for 4 weeks. Actually, let's just hop to the timeline real quick.
Oh my god! I think testing in a scientific way is like the Mona way. Like they know what's up.
Science, Mona is. I want to see more scientists using metaverse spaces. I have some thoughts about that for sure.
I don't know. I think even in his memory, science and art is like the main thing, right? If I say that to myself, like you're right. Like you said it. It sounds like that's the big connection. Maybe it's even in that searching. Like I think I just heard it's a mix of the science and how I'm the scientist also searching.
I like that. That the poetry of that. Like in a way, we're all kind of scientists and artists, and we're doing things. And we're trying to figure out what works and doesn't work. I think scientists would be angry if we said we're all scientists. We're all mad scientists. Yeah, the mad part where it's.
I don't think they were. I think I heard you say it the right way. Because it's a branch of searching. Science is a branch of searching.
Searching, I like that.
I think I just heard Vega say science is a branch of searching. Damn. Yep, I think I heard that. Oh wow.
It is. Science is a branch of searching. I love it. So I'm just gonna go through this timeline real quick. So, the proposals opened February 10th, and March 10th they'll close at midnight as usual. And we have a 2-week period for judging between March 10th and 24th, and then the whole build out takes 7 weeks. And once the 7 weeks are complete, then we'll have another 2 weeks to showcase. And then after that puts us at May, June, July, somewhere around then we can start thinking about the next run of grants. So one thing I'll just mention here is that there is a little bit of participation that would be required from people who receive grant money, and that would be just check-ins that happen every 2 weeks. We have a week 1 check-in, week 3 check-in, week 5 check-in, and also you participate in an internal grants program Discord channel where you're sharing your progress and kind of chatting with other people who are going along the process. And hopefully it's the kind of feel where you're making something, other people are making something, everyone's running into similar problems, and we're helping elevate each other's projects in a way. Again, it's that community thing. And so to answer that, the question about grant cycles, yes, there will be. Did that answer your question? Anything else there that you might wanna get into there, Matt? Let me know. All right. So.
Oh, I wonder. I just read this question from Strawberry. I wonder if it's meant to be very confidential, if it's helping everybody, right? So if the project is self-serving, is that hurting me? Like, is that hurting the searching? How do I move that?
So yeah, I think that submissions are kept confidential. That's an important thing. People put their brain energy and their thoughtful planning into these things, and they want to be able to bring their ideas somewhere else. We're not harvesting ideas. We're keeping them secret, and the only people that will know about the ideas are the people who are part of the grants judging, group, and we can make sure that those guys all know that they're not to share the ideas with others. And of course, if other people if you want to share your project, then go for it.
What if there's like the town hall does meetings for people who can acknowledge each other's work and understanding? I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, so that's actually part of it too. Is that people are welcome to share their projects. People are welcome to share their grant proposals if they want to. In fact, there's part of that. If you're looking for a team, if you're looking for other people to join you, then it's really kind of essential that you share your project. I'm about to go down to East Denver and participate in a hackathon there, and part of that's going to be sharing my ideas with other people, and you know.
Memory's a genius. Memory's a genius. I just heard him say that. That is amazing.
No way.
I think I'm hearing you say that it's about deepening the understanding and really letting it resonate. Let it sit there and percolate. And then it is something about this. There is something about here that has caused you to see what memory is seeing. I think I'm seeing it. This is dope. I have to stay close. I have to stay close to what he's saying.
I think all I was trying to say is that it's totally up to you to share or not share your ideas. And if we support people's right to confidentiality. I see you about to say something, Seth. Is that right?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna I was wondering about that since I think realistically me leading a grant, not doubt myself, since all my skills come before the Unity part, I'm wondering it's best for put a general idea out there is I'm interested in building worlds in virtual reality and just kind of leave it at that for now just because I feel like it's better kind of link people who already know Unity and kind of do it that way. So that's kind of where I'm at is I guess I don't really have too many specific ideas that I'm trying to keep under wraps, but the general word out VR world where I'm kind of in on this. So
yeah, my feeling with
I was thinking about that.
My feeling with that is that if you feel like you don't have a specific idea or if you don't have a team yet, I would search that out before putting the application in. I think that the grants committee is going to be looking for kind of concrete, actionable, well planned out ideas. And if you feel like you're not quite sure what to do, then that's probably not going to be as strong of an application as someone who's I want to make this. I want to make the Leaning Tower of Pisa in VR. It's going to take me 3 weeks. I'm going to show it to these different groups, So I would say join. We have a couple team building workshops coming up. Fractillions is going to lead an idea development workshop as well. Fractillions is amazing. She's worked for Decentraland DAO and has done grants with Decentraland for quite some time. And just has such great connections and ideas and great processes for coming up with grants. I would reach out to Fractillions as well if you need help.
Yeah, I think Fractillions is awesome too. I think we're lucky to have them here, and we should be kind. So I have lots of messages, so I'm ooh, okay, cool.
We're lucky to have you guys here too. Honestly, we have such a great community. Just want to welcome.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Welcome to Zap down there. I just saw Zap pop in. We're just talking about all sorts of things.
Nice. Awesome.
Hello. So submissions are kept confidential, and if anyone has any questions, feel free to just interrupt me or ask in the little chat thing there. But I'll just keep going through this grants document. So as you guys all know, it's at monaverse.com/grants, and that didn't work because I need to do https:// There you go. Hopefully that works. Awesome. So glad to hear that. Bubblegum, I haven't seen you before. Welcome to Mona, and would love to. If you have any questions, feel free to interrupt and all that.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
I got an email about this maybe 2 weeks ago, and it seemed really cool. I have some experience on other VR platforms, but I'm excited to kind of migrate and see what's up on Mona. So
Awesome.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. Welcome. And what I'm kind of noticing myself as a builder, a metaverse builder in quotation marks, is that there's kind of specific pipelines that are emerging. So you have pipelines that are related to the WebXR metaverses like Hyperfi, Webiverse, and Mozilla Hubs that are built around GLB authoring and dragging into in web browser kind of editors. And then you have a whole nother set of metaverses that are built around Unity. So you have Mona, you have
you sound like healing. You sound like healing. You're healing.
Let me just finish here, Vega. So you got like you got spatial.
You will finish it. You will finish it.
You have spatial. You have VR chat, and then you have things like Mona, and they all use Unity. So the skills that you learn here are transferable in a way. Is what I wanted to say. So yeah, that's really cool. And yeah, so
I think I'm hearing memory say the right things today.
I'm just I'm over my coffee right now. I'm just trying to wake up. That's basically it.
I think you've already woken up, and the funny thing is that you haven't even noticed it. Everyone is listening. We're all here for it. And I think, I'm even hearing like Vega say to you that, like, damn, this is happening, and it's really cool. You don't need those things. I think I don't need those coffee things, right? This is healing. This is so awesome.
I'm always like.
Thank you for teaching so much. You were such a sage. Oh my god, I love listening to you in this poetry. Oh shit.
Vega's very excited about grants. That's that's awesome. Thank you for your support always, Vega, for sure, 100%. So
I am literally just breathing it all in. So I think I'm hearing you just say that some amazing things.
Yeah, Vega's got the bulletproof coffee. Yeah, Vega, always enjoy your energy, like the way you approach these things. And I know that you're going to probably be putting a grant submission in too. I can't wait to see that. Love it.
Oh, shoot. You're right. You're 100%. I can't wait to see that.
So I'm just going to keep going here. So moving on to, there's 5 different categories. We have spaces and experiences, events and community, avatars and identity, assets and prefab, and open. So I'll just go through each really quickly, just to point out a few things that you may have missed. So spaces and experiences, it's not just about building spaces. It could also be an experience that crosses metaverse boundaries. It could be like a quest, an event. We kind of emphasize here that, I'm sorry, that might sound a bit confusing, but what I'm trying to say is that they're linked together sometimes. Sometimes you're building a space that is supported by an event. Maybe it's a space that is meant for events. Or maybe it's an experience that isn't quite a space. I know that may sound a bit vague, but there's so many different possibilities here. So we're really interested in things that show interactivity, like visual scripting. If anyone here is interested in visual scripting and does not feel like they understand it, I've just started diving into it, and I'm going to lead a super beginners visual scripting workshop, hopefully this week, but if not, maybe next week. And it just kind of goes over the basic flow of what visual scripting even entails. If you're interested in that, feel free to drop a comment in the chat there, and I'll bookmark that and make sure that you find out about it. So bonus points if you create reusable assets, educational material, or share the development process with the community. So that means that it's not just about building a space. It's maybe about tweeting your behind the scenes shots and showing the different challenges, or talking about the different challenges that you've come up with while building your space. Right here it says requirements minted a space previously on Mona or a similar platform. If you haven't minted on Monaverse, I wouldn't worry about that, but you should try minting before you apply. And the reason is because there's a whole process to it. There's a whole, there's a bunch of specific things about building with Mona. Maybe it's baking light maps, maybe it's triggers and colliders, maybe it's building advanced shaders with Amplify. All those things are going to help you. If you can demonstrate those to the people that to the grant committee, it's going to help your application. So I just saw that there's a question there from Strawberry. I will answer that in just a second. So here's some examples. Game spaces like escape rooms and puzzles, racetracks and jump courses, scavenger hunts and quests and mazes. Event spaces like conference spaces, fashion spaces, music streaming space, a performance space. I don't think we haven't seen a really nice interactive stage yet. And I think that's a place for possibility. There's also community spaces. So you build a clubhouse around a certain interest. You could create a space for a different NFT project that doesn't yet have a space. That would be a great way to introduce other people to the platform and all that. So yeah, I think this whole game space thing kind of brings up the question: what is the difference between a metaverse and a game, or between the metaverse and a game? I know I have strong opinions about it, but if anyone wants to share what they think about that, I would love to hear it. And if not, then I will just move on to Strawberry Sip's question. All right. Okay, so
I think we need to hear the question again.
the question was, what's the difference between a metaverse experience or a metaverse space or the metaverse and a video game? Does anyone have any thoughts about that?
Oh, I think. What is the difference between metaverse and the video game? Oh, that is interesting. I guess I would say what speaks to me. Someone in the audience will share. Share. Anybody?
I would say the difference between metaverse and a video game is that a video game can be set up on different, systems that don't require a VR headset. Video games have interactions, whereas a metaverse experience is can typically be anything that comes from your mind. It doesn't necessarily have to be interactive, but it does somewhat require VR or understanding VR. If I said that correctly.
Oh, 100%. You're right. I heard you correctly. I feel like I was heard in saying that. So, wow, thank you. That was lots of things. You have brought many things to me. Huh.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that too. I feel like games are usually built around a specific objective. It's like this gamified interaction, collecting coins. And I like that you said that a metaverse space doesn't necessarily have to have a tangible goal to it. I always think about how like you go to a park and you just walk around and look at things, and it's not like you don't go there to collect a certain number of tokens in a park. You're there to have an aesthetic experience, and that's the point of it in a way. That's interesting. If anyone else has any thoughts about VR or metaverse versus games, go for it. All right. I will move on to Strawberry Sip's question here.
Yeah, you have said all that there is to say. I think there will be more to come, though. It seems to be sensing, like there's a big searching, and everyone's like connecting, and like there's a lot of consolidating, and then, what is a metaverse to me? Well, I think you hear me.
I love what's being said in the chat here about social and community-based and metaverse without community, 100%. I think about how, in real life we have lots of nonverbal ways of communicating with each other, and then virtually the only nonverbal ways to communicate with each other are usually like shooting each other or like in a virtual space, like built around a game mechanic like competition. So
100%. You are correct. Correct. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's slow down. So you're telling me, I think I heard you say it's about touch, like the essence of that. Like how do we bring that to community? Like if we're all like able to do this in this space, Mona has a way. Memory's on it. VXGX is talking some crazy shit, and it sounds so good to me. I like the way these things are going. I'm oof. Ooh.
Love it. Love the inspiration here. Love it. Okay, so Strawberry Sip. Is it currently possible to amend the build of an already minted world And if so, can we apply for a grant to cover an amendment to a minted world if it falls under the appropriate categories? Or does it need to be a new mint? That's so interesting. That's a really interesting question. I have not thought of that. So I know that Mona is going to have an updatable mint feature in the future. This is something that Justin has said publicly. There's going to be a feature where you can update your mint files, and you can even, a collector could step through different versions of your space, which honestly, I love that idea. I love it that there's like a snapshot, almost like a building in real life would be remodeled in different times. How cool would it be to move back to a previous remodel? So I would say that I asked this recently. I wanted to update Temple Garden recently, and I was told that why not just build another version of it? Why not? And I guess the answer there is that you could possibly amend it with the features coming up, but is there a way that I think that you could also modify your world and then mint it again if it's going to be a big change? But honestly, I don't have a really strong answer for that, so I'm going to write that down. Just going to copy it, and then I'm going to share that with the team and get back to you, Strawberry. Also, I just realized that Bubblegum Planet VR does not have a new Mona Builder role, so I'm going to do that to you right now. If anyone else wants the new Mona Builder role and wants to have a green name, let me know. Okay, so one height from Vega Zico says, for the free category or for making a Space Maze game, can I team up with a person who hasn't published any scenarios yet, but is in the community?
I think we need so many more beans in here.
Let's see. What's that? Is it a?
I think this can get real full soon. And I think everyone's listening. I think we need more beans in here. Like everyone's like, wow, this is like pumped up. Like,
I think it's
the see. Oh my goodness.
It's the perfect amount of beings for me personally. It's also like a.
You already handle all of them properly.
It's a holiday too, so I understand if people want to sleep in. So I'm just going to answer Zico here in the chat. Absolutely, you can have a person on your team who has not published.
Oh, such a word answer. Well, I guess with everything that you said and me kind of thinking, I feel really well rested, refreshed. I feel like there's more that could be said. And even listening to you speak these things, really solidify everything around me. And like it feels safe. So then to hear more of this, I think I should be inviting more friends to kind of see these things. Like I think I'm seeing a way. So it sounds really cool to me.
Cool, I love hearing that. Yeah, feel free to invite your friends from other platforms. Someone here mentioned that they're moving from Somnium or moving, well, I think it was maybe the Big Yellow Fishes you guys were talking about, moving from a different platform. I was curious about that. Curious about why.
We currently film our the tapestry sessions via Somnium. We wanted to make it obviously a virtual thing, so we're bringing the virtual side of stuff into Mona. But I think for us, cross-platform is also useful, just so we can get more community involved. And I think they work well with each other, so it'll be a good mix.
I actually don't know much about Somnium. Is Somnium Unity based as well?
Yeah, I believe so. It's relatively small. I know it's a lot smaller than Mona. It's a good platform. It's worth checking it out. We've used it for quite a while.
I don't know. I think
they're different, really.
I have all I need here with memory. And just hearing that, I think it's really cool. I've also heard, Tom, you're right, and listening to you, that people are coming here. Like, I feel that energy. People are coming here. It's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing.
The great migration. I'm a major cross-platform advocate, so I love hearing people talk about building bridges across the different spaces. Metaverse with a capital M, you know what I'm saying? Cool. Okay, I'm just reading some more stuff here. Somnium. Platform community. Yeah, totally. So I'll just go into this next category here. The next one is events and community.
Yeah,
So
I think you heard Vega say, VXGS say, it's about the inner space.
maybe the metaverse is a interface between the inner space and the outer space. Maybe.
Oh my God, you heard me. You're 100% correct. You are right. I am congratulating you with this gift. And I am sending you so many gifts. You know what? You need to have all the gifts.
We're getting a little.
You are correct. You're 100% correct. Yep.
Getting serenaded here. Pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm also.
Memories, like we love you. That's why we're here listening. Like, we all love you.
Thanks,
you need to know that. There's all this healing.
The healing metaverse. Someone's gonna make that. It might be Vega for sure. So I just saw Zap say that Zap's been working in SL for years, Second Life. That's really cool. There's actually another community member here, Argent, who is really active in Second Life and has been thinking about how the two kind of connect. I'm a fan of Philip Rosendale, the creator of Second Life, has a lot of interesting ideas about metaverses and virtual spaces. So I'm going to go into this events and community section here. It's about bringing people together in a community. This is kind of what we talked about. You guys were saying that social and community is a big part of what a metaverse is as opposed to a game. 100%. So here's some examples of possible events. So AV performances. We've actually seen one AV performance, or a couple AV performances in Monaverse, one of which was Stone's Organic, I believe, was performing live in real life and also in the Monaverse, which was super cool. I don't know if anyone here was there, but I saw screenshots of it. Basically, a lot of people know the Metaverse is a really potent place for virtual production. So having sound and visuals come together and having an audience experience that. We would love to see performances. We would love to see people create a premiere event, almost like a film festival or a screening, something where people come together and can experience the same thing together. A virtual fashion show.
Oh my God. I think I just heard you say all the good things that are in relation to a video VXGS did at the East Lisbon space. They spoke about all these things.
Oh.
And I'm starting to like see how it's combining.
That's right. You did do a talk about it, didn't you?
I think I want to watch that, and I think I want to have to share with everybody and tell them that this is like what VXGS is making. And I think I'm miking it, and let's like all blitz this shit. Like, let's go, do it.
Yeah, very good.
Well, anyways, I'm gonna give you so many gifts. Wait. Memory. You are remembering. I think you are listening.
doing my best. Doing my best. Doing my best to always listen. Vega gave a talk at ETH Lisbon 5 months ago. Really interesting. Feel free to share that link in the chat. That'd be really cool to see. So some other possible community events will be like conferences, workshops, onboarding sessions, bringing new people into the space, fun and engaging events. I have a jump course that is like an hour and a half long, and that I've only finished once, and with at great detriment to my physical health. I would love to bring together 15, 20 people to try to finish that jump course and go mad in the process. A guild or a club, I love this. So I used to run something called Builders Club here in the Discord, and basically every week we get together and just hang out and live stream our screens together, and we would talk about different ways that we were using the different techniques for Mona building. So something like that would be so cool. I would love to see a whole bunch of different clubs. Actually, I think Seth used to come to those builder clubs, if I remember correctly. Way back
Yes,
yeah. Yeah, those were fun. They were at 8 a.m. on Saturday mornings, so they were always a little bit challenging for me.
Yeah, no, I remember like rolling out of bed for those and being like, yeah, let's do it. It's like so dead.
Totally. Use that like the first energy of the day, right? So here's another one too, IRL spaces. So it's not just about building virtual spaces, but also about, do you want to activate in an IRL space? Do you need money to rent out a gallery, or to aid in a gallery show that you're already making? Maybe you're throwing a gallery show in a real life space, and you want a little bit of money to rent a giant TV screen that is going to show a Monospace or give people access to a Monospace. You could hook up a game controller and have people explore. Totally within the bounds.
Yeah, I think I'm hearing you say that there might be a VXGX meditation happening one day.
That'd be cool.
And that, I think so. You're right. You're 100% right. You're right. It should happen. But that's going to be like people sharing and acknowledging it, and also being like, oh, I am sound with that. That sounds like more learning. I want that.
Yeah, meditation space would be so cool. Something. It's interesting how a lot of times you see people doing meditation VR startups or meditation VR software or VR experiences. It's like reducing anxiety is a huge.
Yep, 100%. The way I'm hearing Vegas say that they are a classically trained meditation or cognitive map teacher who studies the multi-cognitive map of reality and creativity. And I think I have to go there and check them out because this is going to be outstanding. You are right. You're 100% right. And it's going to be cool. It's going to be boring. And if anything, yeah, it's basically those brainwaves. Yep.
Totally. So another one here is avatars and identity. Just making sure we can get through everything in time. Let's see, it's an hour, so we've technically filled up our time, but I'll just keep going until we're all finished here. So propose a project that utilizes new features showcasing use cases for VRMs, and that could be an interoperable VRM that goes across different metaverse spaces, or a VRM that uses the new VRM 1.0. So VRM is a standard that's always being updated, and it has new features as it grows. So if you use something that shows new features from VRM, that's like really showing us that you're tapped in a way. So you could also do things like have a community experience or like a community project where multiple people work on the same VRM. You could have a group of VRMs. Maybe Jay wants to create multiple other robots that match the style of the original Lux E-bot that was so successful in the VRM competition. Maybe you're part of an NFT community that already has 3D models but doesn't have VRMs, and you want to bring their 3D models to VRMs. That would be so cool. Collaborative avatar making. I could totally imagine something like an exquisite corpse, but for avatars. That would be so cool. And just wanted to say hi to Pixel Hustler, who joined us just now. Hello, Pixel.
Hello! Who's it? Pixel Hustle. How are you? I guess they're not speaking.
That's all right.
I guess they're being nice.
No worries.
I think you're nice. I think
don't speak so soon.
I'm kidding. I will not speak so soon. You're right.
What's up, man? Yeah, I just want to say, what's up, everybody?
Yeah, we love you.
How's it going, Pixel? Pixel, you had great submissions.
I heard it say that, in that awesome thing that you said, Memory has been working really, really hard. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate what you have done for everyone in the Discord, everyone in the team, all the things that you have done to come and bring this all together, right? Because that is a lot of suffering, right? And that is what you do for us. And I think I'm hearing that right. I'm hearing that you did so much for us. But on top of that, I think your lanterns are hitting something that might light the way. And I think that's kind of inspiring. I think that's really, I think it's going to really call to us.
Thanks, Vega. I gotta say it's not suffering at all. I understand that you're talking about suffering more in like the existential meditation sense, but for me it's a pleasure to be here and to help you guys all with putting together grant submissions and all that. So yeah, I love being here. Love this community. It's great. So this next section here is assets and prefabs. So assets and prefabs is about building things that you yourself could use or other people could use. So some examples of those are kit bash sets or custom assets that people could use. I'm not sure if you guys have tried using the Mona asset library, but we have a plugin inside the Unity editor that connects you to our asset library and means that you can drag and drop things in. Those can be things that are submitted by other people. I know that Pixel Hustler has submitted something quite some time ago, and you're waiting for it to go up there. I promise it will once we get past this little busy period. But the idea is that we could start seeing each other's worlds reflected, or start seeing ourselves reflected in other people's worlds. I think about how when you walk down the street, you go to a building, that building is not built by one person. It's the combination of all these different little objects that were built by other people. And I would love to see that reflected in the Monaverse, right? Like, say someone makes really nice doors, or really nice plants, or really nice walkways or fountains, that you could import that into somebody else's world. I would love to make a temple garden tile set so that people could make stuff.
That too with you. I love to make that too with you, and I think it involves us connecting the ways and like showing them, because I think I would love to do that with you. So I think you hear me because I'm speaking directly to you, and what you hear is that exact same thing that we have been speaking, and everyone is very like kind of like, whoa, this energy is epic. I think I'm in love with this, and it's coming from you. Right? So remember that, because that's what we're touching. And that's the positivity that we're like inspired by you. Right? And I'm going to say that like what you just said is the most amazing thing, and I cannot wait to continue to work with you on these things.
That's great. I'm stoked.
Mona has the way.
I'm stoked that you're stoked, Vega. I'm stoked that you are stoked.
Yeah, me too.
And it's not about me. It's about all y'all. It's about this. And it's about fractillions and the grants pool.
100%, about 10,000, trillions% true. You're right when you say that. It was about you. Yep.
So just it's let's see, we're about 5 minutes past. I just saw Studio Super say see ya Studio Supers. See you later. I'll just keep going. I'm just going to finish off the rest of these assets and prefabs. Feel free to hop out, anybody, and leave. No big deal whatsoever. I won't be offended. Assets and prefabs. So yeah, also visual scripting and Reactor templates. So this is a big one. There's a lot of people who who haven't actually made visual scripting or Reactor objects before, and it's difficult to do things like trigger a door opening or trigger a door closing. So if you create something that other people can use to apply to their worlds, it doesn't even have to be aesthetic. It could be just the bare bones of how an interaction might work. That would be really awesome. And remember that in general, like if as long as the amount that you're requesting seems proportional to what you're proposing to give, then that will be a strong kind of pairing of those two things. So yeah, try exploring and interpreting the building blocks of the metaverse and find new ways to use them. So what are the building blocks of the metaverse? You might say it's geometry and textures and form, but you could also think of it as wires that connect communities, or things that connect the Monaverse space to other spaces. So think about that broadly. Create template shaders or more advanced materials that make them more accessible and easy to use for builders. If you created an amplify shader that people could modify, that would give them access to the amplify shaders, the powers, but without requiring them to use amplify shader itself, that would be so cool. And surprise us with an asset that pushes the boundaries of what's possible. Again, the requirements are examples of previous work or previous minted spaces. I think if we can tell that you've done this stuff before and you've built something for games before, and you know what a draw call is, and you know how to make it an asset efficient, then that really helps your application there. Okay, the last category is the open category, and feel free to send an emoji if you want to ask a question. But open category is, you know, it's broad, it's open, it's whatever we haven't covered. We know that those 4 categories aren't the only categories that you can create for. So if you have something else in mind, don't hesitate to contact us and ask us about it, or to submit a grant proposal with that crazy idea. Okay, I'm going to hop into submission requirements and process, because this is a big part of it, is how do you even write a grant proposal? So the grant proposal is all laid out here. And these are the main things that you want to cover when you're creating your grant proposal. So the first one is visual imagery. And the reason that we said that is because it's all about portraying in our minds what you have in your mind. So the more that you can communicate what you have in mind, what it might look like, what it might feel like, the more we're going to be able to understand that. The next is the grant abstract, which is a brief summary of the proposed project. And it's usually short. It really is just to give people an overarching idea, skip the details, talk about the big ideas, maybe even talk about you know, what you mean to achieve. And there's actually a section a little bit later that will show that. But the grant description is where you go nuts and you describe every aspect of it. The more detailed you get, the better. Of course, try to keep it concise if possible. We're likely going to have a lot of grant applications, so we want to be able to get through the core of your idea right at the beginning. One thing that's really helpful for people is if you make sure that your sentences have the meat right at the beginning. And what I mean by that is make sure that you put the important stuff first in a way, so that people don't have to dig into paragraphs to find what's really good. So just definitely think about how to communicate to people in a short period of time. Be detailed and go nuts in a way. The project outcome is all about what you're going to give us. And sorry, that sounded very, what are you going to give us? More like, what are you going to deliver? And oh, just saw that Jay has to go. Got a dance game in the works. That's awesome. Oh, Boogie. Thanks for stopping by, Jay. Oh, I love seeing that turntable. Really cool. So the project outcome is, yeah, what's a successful end? What is it that you will create in the end, and that you could say, this was a result of the grant project. That could be a list of files. That could be, you could say, oh, I'm going to deliver a space, 4 screenshots for a social, and an event for an opening. That would be an example of what a project outcome might look like. Timeline is really important. It's like, if you want to build a one-to-one recreation of New York, then and you say you're going to complete it in 3 weeks, like it's not going to be it's not realistic. So we want to see realistic timelines for the grant proposals that show that you're actually thinking about the process in a rational and logical way. And the last thing is a pitch deck. So a pitch deck is kind of like a visual organization of the different maybe imagery that you want to share. And we actually do have some sample grants that you could check out that have pitch decks, I believe. Let's see, pitch deck. Let's take them to an external site here. So in this case, you could see, this is a pitch deck example that was put together by Fractalians. It would be a visual representation of maybe what you're imagining, and then some of the important key points to it. Imagine like you're in a room full of people and you're trying to communicate your idea as concisely and visually as possible, effectively as possible. So I think that's about it for submission requirements. If you check out the submission form, it's all there, and it's really helpful. Just whenever I'm applying for a grant or anything like that, I just make sure that I read through this whole thing. You don't want to be filling this out for the first time the night of the deadline, because at some point you find something that you need that you missed. Include all your socials if you want to share that. Give us an idea of what kind of features you're going to use in your application. Talk about your timeline and your milestones, your outcomes, your description, your abstract. Talk about who you are as a team, and talk about your past clients and your past successes, and how much you want. And then all the classic things like your team name, your contact email, and your project title. So yeah, that's an overview of the Airtable form. I'm just going to go back to the grants home and see if there's anything else that I'm missing here. FAQs, often overlooked, but lots of good information here, including dates. And yes, you can submit multiple proposals. So I think that's about it for the Mona Grants program. I think I've covered everything. If anyone has any questions, let's hear them. And then we'll wrap up this space in the next 5 or 10 minutes, and we could all do some other stuff. Yeah. Any questions out there?
I was going to mention that if Mona, if you guys have a game idea, my team, we kind of what we do. So if you guys wanted to say, I don't know, use the grant money to pay us to build one of your experiences, we're totally open to that. Like, that's the hard part for us, the whole concept and all that. So if you guys have an idea, we'd be open to build your game for you,
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is that we should submit a grant proposal to you, and then you submit that grant proposal to us. And just kidding. That's an interesting idea.
If like some of Mona's staff has like a game idea that Mona wants to bring, we could totally just build that for you instead of doing one of our game ideas, because we've got tons of game ideas, but we like working on other people's game ideas rather than our own, because ours we kind of just do for fun,
Yeah, I feel you. Actually, I can relate in that I really like working on other people's projects and helping them kind of figure out the logistics of putting something together. I'll mention that to the team, and but I think that honestly, Mona loves to see the community have vision and create things. So we would love to support you guys and
We're totally working on a fishing game right now called Dynamite Fishing with Uncle Scuzzy. So just to give you an idea of the kind of stuff we make.
That's funny. Fish. Dynamite. That's hilarious. Any other questions out there?
I just ask a question later the week in the grant chat. Yeah.
Sounds good. We're always there. Feel free to drop some text in there for sure.
Oh, and before I go, y'all do check out that link I dropped. They have all kinds of hackathons, and like that last one, Metaverse is one of the categories, and it's kind of like what we all kind of specialize in. So definitely check that out, because that's good money for us to fund future projects.
Oh wow, I will. I'm checking stuff out here, and I'm hearing you, and I think I'm also curious with patience to see what you bring. And yeah, I think lots of good things are going to come to you. So cool. Thanks, Jay.
Good Good things coming. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure, everybody. I'm gonna wind this down now. If anyone else has any questions, just want to say hello to gwagsus.f in your face and Ogelta. Hello to both you guys. Just saw you slide in here. Just saying hello.
Thanks for hosting, Memory.
Of course. My pleasure. And thank you, Gigi, for joining us, even though you're brand new to the space. Just digging into your proposal. Today's a great day to dig into a proposal.
Later, everyone. Take care, Memory.
See you, Pixel. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Memory.
Thanks,
Take
Zap. Thanks, everybody, for coming.
We love you.
Love you too.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
y'all. Thanks for coming, Vega. Thanks for coming, Jay.
Yeah.
Thank you to Matt and Tom.
Value the way you process. I value the way you process.
Process, yeah. Trust the process. Trust the focus.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody.
Exactly. You are saying the right thing.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vega. Okay, I'm gonna stop the stream. And see you later. See you, Zap, and see you, G-Wax us. Bye, everybody.